Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Last Page podcast. We are your hosts, Mariana and Niki.
Guys, it's book club day. I feel like this has been a long-awaited episode, not necessarily by any of y'all, but by me, because I have been wanting to
And by
read,
me,
and by you, but I have
scheduling.
been wanting to read this book for multiple years, I think, at this point.
I know. I feel like there was definitely a summer where everybody was reading it, and I felt a little bit left out. But you know what? I'm here.
Well, here we are, guys. Today, as you can see by the title, we are discussing The Song of Achilles by Madeline Miller. This is a Greek retelling of the story of Achilles, and I'm very excited to get into it.
Wait, Greek retelling? I thought it was fully fiction.
Oh, yeah. Well, it's a retelling of the Greek myth of Achilles, I guess we should say.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And for anyone who didn't know, because I did Google this yesterday, you know, when they say, like, you're my Achilles heel, that's a song.
Yeah.
That's in a song.
Yeah.
It means that it's, like, you know, their weak point. I didn't know that.
Wait, okay. The crazy thing, now I know obviously we can chit chat and catch up before we jump into this. I was waiting. I thought Achilles had like his Achilles tendon like got cut. Is that stupid?
Yeah. No, that's right. It's like the reason why it's your Achilles heel, because that's like their weak point. And I think Achilles in Greek mythology, when he was a baby, his mom tried to like dip him in water, and like his heel, like it had to do something with like his mom trying to do something to him.
Oh, I really should have looked that up because I was literally the entire book. I was waiting at the end when they were doing their battle. I was like, oh, he's going to get sliced in his Achilles and then he's going to like fall.
Oh,
I didn't know.
Literally, I'm so dumb because I Googled it after, and I was like, oh, like, of course Patroclus is his Achilles heel. Like, it's his vulnerability. Like, it's his...
You're like making shit up for real.
I'm dumb.
That's
I'm
funny.
dumb. Anyway, I will say, disclaimer, I probably will have nothing smart to say about this book, even though it's a good piece of beautiful literature.
Well, I feel like we always get on here and we're like, we need to choose a smart book that we can really analyze. And then we do choose a smart book. And although, to be fair, I think I kind of cooked here. I have some things I would like to discuss. But, you know, this brings me into my recap. I was at Disneyland until almost midnight last night. So my brain cells aren't really firing on all cylinders. But I do have things smartly to be discussing. So.
Yeah, we're really, really smart, but today we're like really dumb. I will say, because it's early for Niki, it's like 8:30, 9 for you. That means it's earlier in my evening, aka it's so bright outside still. And so it's weird for me because I'm always so tired.
Yeah.
And you're always like, ooh, you know.
Yeah, so now it's my turn to be tired. But no, I would like to speak about Disneyland yesterday because one of our friends is in the parade, Marissa, and we got to go see her, and it was really fun because they have Paint the Night Back, the parade, which is like one of my favorite parades at Disney ever. The song is so good, and like all of the sections are so cute. It's like the electrical parade revamped.
Yeah, it's so cute.
And also the newer Disneyland fireworks are really good. I hadn't seen the new. I think Haley said they did it for the 100th anniversary last year, and so now it's like this like emotional.
Is it the same as the Disney World ones that we saw?
No, those are actually the best fireworks of Disney forever. So. You should feel blessed that we saw that. Yeah, no, Disney World. You guys, if you've seen Happily Ever After, the fireworks show, literally so good. This one was not that good, but it was very good. So.
Yeah, so Nikki's a Disney adult, like fully.
Oh, I'm fully a Disney adult. I'm not like actually a Disney adult because I don't have a pass or anything, but I did have a pass. So I guess that kind of qualifies me.
What happened to your pass?
It expired.
Oh. No.
And now I'm broke. I don't have any money to pay for it, but
it's like so expensive. You're like, oh, perfect. It's forever. It'll last my whole lifetime.
No, literally it went by so fast. And also I think the problem is if you're going to have a pass, you kind of have to have it with like your partner because then you guys can go on date nights and go pretty often. But Ricky is just like not interested in paying for one because they're literally like $1,000 if you get the nice ones. And so I'm like, oh, maybe we'll just get, you know, the cheap ones.
Yeah.
But I was telling Haley yesterday, I was like, well, should I put this on my wedding registry? So I'm like,
I
maybe
guess that'd be nice.
Maybe we get a Disney Pass fund. So Ricky's probably going to say no when I bring it up, but we'll see.
Actually, Ben and I have been we've been talking about going to Disneyland Paris, but I heard it's just smaller. Like, it's like obviously not
Has
as
he
grand.
been?
Yeah, he's been to Paris, I think, before, but I don't think he's been to Disney World or California.
Yeah. Oh, I feel like you should. I mean, it's close. You guys should just go. The thing that they have at Disneyland Paris that is so cool that I want to see is you can go underneath the castle there, and they have a dragon, like a fire-breathing dragon down there in the dungeon.
Okay, but like fake one.
Well, yeah, not like a real dragon, obviously.
But
But like
well, duh. But like it's like an animatronic.
Well, yeah, what else would it be?
No, I mean it's like
They got
it's
Terrence
like
strapped
another
up down there.
it's like another animatronic character. That doesn't wow me.
No, but it's like
I need
supposed to be
something
really
good,
cool.
like a hologram or something.
No, but it's like a really cool big animatronic, and it's like you walk down into the dungeon and you see it there, and it's all. It looks really cool. Honestly, I would love to go.
I'm ready.
Yeah.
Anyway, we've been talking about going, but we're making a summer bucket list, which I think is actually a really cute idea, just because we are in London for the summer. So, we were planning on not being around, and so now we're gonna stick around, and we're excited because there's like so much to do. We want to do like Topgolf, and he's never seen Wicked, and he like there's so many things I want him to see.
There's Topgolf in London.
Yeah, there's a Topgolf like right down the road from us, but we've
That's
been
so
wanting
random.
to go because we've like cycled by it and we're like, oh, that's kind of cool. And actually, this is really fun and kind of off topic, but our friend Lindsay gave myself and Ben and Nikki too the We're Not Really Strangers 365-day questions.
Oh, yes.
And one of the questions yesterday, because we're like a few days behind, and by few I mean 20. One of the questions.
Well, I'm about 363 days behind, so.
Oh yeah, we did one when we were visiting Nikki and Ricky, and it was sweet.
Oh yeah, we all four did it. That was cute.
Yeah. Anyway, one of the questions was, what is one of your interests or hobbies that you want to share with your partner?
Mm-hmm.
And for me, I was like, oh, I want us to do like at home. I would always buy like canvases and like sketch pads and never do anything with it, like watercolor stuff. And I was like, I feel like we should do that little thing where I draw him and he draws me.
Yeah,
like, I feel like that would be
I've
really
been
cute.
wanting to do that.
Yeah, and his was Topgolf and like just cycling around more because he likes to do that.
Have you been golfing before?
No, I literally never been. I've been mini golf, but that doesn't count.
But you haven't ever been to like a driving range or a real golf course?
No.
Oh, it's pretty
and
fun,
driving
honestly.
ranges, I feel like are cool. Like you could just day drink
Yeah.
and like So
I want to go to Topgolf. That's a good idea. Yeah, we've gone to Ricky likes to golf but doesn't go frequently, but a lot of his friends go. And we've been to the driving range a couple times, and then I went like fully golfing with him and his family once, and I was literally so bad, but it's like fun because it's like an outdoor. It just gets you outside. You know, you get to ride around the little golf cart.
So I think we're gonna do that. Even though if you guys see me profusely sweating, just ignore me because it is like 80 degrees and there's no AC in London, and my fan is off because if it's not, then you're gonna pick it up on the mic. I'm so hot.
That's crazy. 80 degrees there, I feel like feels hot though, because that's like not normal. Well, I guess
It's,
that's
like,
normal,
also-
but it's like
It's just warm. Like in this house, like you guys see, my walls are blue. Like it's so dark.
yeah. Yeah, it's been about, it was yesterday at Disney. We went like in the beginning of the day, and then we came back during the like late afternoon, and then we went back. So we like took a break. But
You came home and then you went back.
yes, we came home and then we went back because Haley had to teach a workout class, and then we also wanted to watch Love Island, which we can also get into. But
We could get into it. I have not watched a single episode, but just know I know exactly everything that's going on. All the
you
podcasts that
need
I
to
listen
watch
to
it.
keep recapping it, and I'm like, maybe I should watch this.
you should watch it. I mean, honestly, okay, this season is definitely good. I'm watching Love Island US though. Are you watching UK? Or are you hearing about US or UK?
I mean, I'm not watching anything, but I'm hearing about US.
Okay. Because I think UK is also happening now, which is crazy. Love Island US, I feel like last season's was much better. Like if you're gonna watch anything, I would watch season 6 instead of 7.
Really?
But this one has been, it's like been really hot and cold with drama. Like there's been a couple episodes that were crazy, and then a couple ones where I'm like, all of these people, like nobody even really likes each other, and it's been kind of lame. So
Yeah. Like people acting insane or like couples doing
Yes.
crazy shiz.
yes, there's this one girl named
Yes, to all
Huda
of the above.
in the beginning, yes, who at the beginning was just acting cuckoo. So that was like the
Wait, is
main...
she the I'm a mommy?
Yes. I'm a mommy.
I've seen that.
I'm a mom, mamacita. No, I'm a mommy. Yes, she's the mommy. She was acting a little crazy for the beginning, like literally 10 episodes. And so that was kind of the main storyline. Then, that kind of fizzled out. Now we've got other storylines going on. They just went to Casa More. It's like a whole thing. So
I love Casa.
There's been a lot of twists as well.
Oh
So
my
I'm
gosh,
excited to see how it's going to unfold over the next couple of days. So hopefully as this episode comes out and you guys are watching this, we will have a little bit
And
more
isn't
clarity.
it like literally every day? Because I've only watched
Yes.
Love Island UK before, and it was like an older season, so we got to just kind of binge
To binge it,
But
yeah.
when it's live, it's literally every day.
Yeah, it's literally every day except
That's
for Wednesday.
crazy.
It's basically like 5 days a week because Wednesdays they take off and then Saturdays I think it is they do their like stupid recap episode after Sun.
Oh
So
yeah,
it's
yeah,
like
yeah.
everybody just skips it. So it's really like 5 days a week, but that's a lot.
Wait,
And it's like
did
an
you
hour
watch
every
the
day.
episode the Paige DeSorbo is on?
Yeah.
Was on?
Yeah.
Did you see that she left?
Yeah, what was that about?
So I listened to Giggly Squad, and that's her podcast with Hannah Berner, and she was saying that she basically like had a heat stroke. She's like, I was wearing literal suede, and
Yeah.
it's like 100 degrees in Fiji, and she's like, I basically passed out.
Oh no. I
Yeah.
was wondering about that cuz like halfway through the challenge they were just kind of like she's not here anymore.
She's like, oh, I thought they would like clip it to make it seem like I was there for the whole thing, like I was there for like 3/4 of the whole of all the people going. She's like, there was like 5 people left or something, or like 2 people left, and she's like, but nope, they announced it. They were like, and Paige needs to take a break.
Yeah. No, that would be so me. The way I'm always getting some type of heat stroke or
Yeah.
something. That's crazy.
Oh, I know. Oh my god, that literally would be you actually.
No, like actually I'm
But
always
that seems
unwell.
fun. Like I would love to not be in Love Island, but be a host to one of the challenges because the challenges are freaking insane.
They're crazy. Also, Ariana Madix has been looking just unreal, gorgeous, fabulous perfection every episode.
Is she the
She's the main host. Yeah, she's from
And she's the
Vanderpump.
Tom Sandoval girl.
Yes. Tom Sandoval
Okay, I've
girl.
seen that.
And it's so funny because she's like a man hater to her core now, which love. And so whenever the girls are like going off on the guys or when the guys are doing something, she's like standing up for them. She's like, yeah, like this one guy, he's so stupid. He was standing up there and they were doing like a kissing challenge. And he rated basically, it was like a blind rating thing. He basically rated every girl like a 5. And then nobody picked him after because it was like, okay, go pick the guy you want to be with. And nobody picked him. And she was like, so how does that feel that, because he was like, oh, I was just being honest. And she goes, well, it looks like the girls were honest right back with you. And literally, and she like kind of gave him this like snarky little thing. And like whenever the girls are like talking
Stop,
their
that's
shit, she's
amazing.
like, you go right ahead. And she was like being so sassy with him. But then on the girl's side, when the girl wasn't picked, she was like so sweet. It was so funny. So,
Oh my
love
god,
it.
I love that. I love that. Boys are freaking stupid.
No, stupid. Some of these boys are
No.
crazy.
Um, my update for everyone this week is that like just work has been insane, which is why I haven't watched any TV. But I mean, I had started watching Stranger Things. I literally haven't picked it up. I don't think we've turned on our TV. Probably, obviously, we were gone for 2 weeks, but like before that, no.
Dang.
Where's the remote?
That's why I
can
like
tell you.
reality TV because then you can just like put it on and you don't have to be in. You can just be vibing.
Yeah, I
Like
do
you can
feel
pop
like
it on and do
Love
laundry.
Island is having like a moment.
Oh yeah. I feel like because last season's US was so popular, now everybody's like going back and watching old episodes. They're watching the current season. It's like a whole thing. But
Damn.
I feel like
Ever-
you should just go back and watch last season. It was so good.
Okay, yeah. I mean, I don't watch that much reality, but I will try.
Well, I mean, and then it's also like Love Island's the worst one to watch because it's literally like 100 episodes per season. So it's
I
like,
know.
how am I
know,
going to
that's
commit to
actually
that?
insane.
Yeah.
It'll be good. We'll see. The days
Yeah.
are long here. Literally, I'll go to bed and it's bright outside. So
That's crazy. Well, I think you need to tell everyone about the celeb that you saw in person.
oh my gosh! So I saw Nikki last week, and then the week before that.
Yeah.
No, so I got to go to one of Spotify's like audiobook events, and it was for the audiobook release of V.E. Schwab. Victoria is her name. Oh yeah, her name's Victoria. I know her like that. And I actually I'm picking up my mic because I have the book with me. So we got the book. It's literally a big kahuna, and it's called Bury Your Bones in the Midnight Soil, and is about lesbian vampires. And it honestly was, yeah.
Okay, Pride Month.
Yeah, and so she is doing her like book tour for it. Anyway, she was so nice, and basically it was just like a very casual interview, and then a lot of people got to ask questions just about like the overall themes of,
Ooh.
having queer protagonist. It's
Mm.
three different points of views, but she said it's like their narrator is not to be trusted. So anyway, I haven't started reading it or listening to it, but she did say if anybody does want to listen, I would recommend, because she was saying that she used to write poetry. And so for her, when she writes something, she will read it out loud, like as she's going through, because there's like a cadence
Oh.
to the way people are talking. And she said that she worked really closely with the audiobook narrators to make sure that, I guess, one of the characters is Scottish, and she has like a, a Scottish narrator reading the book, and she's like, I got to work with her and like work on her like rhythm, and I just thought it was really cool, like the way she talked
That's
about it. And
cool.
also she talked about why she chose like lesbian vampires. And obviously I am not queer, but it really resonated with me, because she said that basically as a woman, you know, however you identify, you like walk out and you're always scared. And you're like
Mm.
always on the lookout, whether you're straight or you're, you know, queer, however you identify, you still are always a target no matter what, whether it's just for the way you look or anything. And she's like, but when I make them vampires, like they become the predator and they kind of get their power back. And
Mm.
I was like, you know what?
Oh,
Yes.
I want to read this. It sounds really good. And it
And
does
she
sound
was
good as an
really nice.
audio.
And she honestly was like so excited to talk about it. She was so jet lagged. She lives in Edinburgh. So she lives in Scotland
Oh.
actually, but she's American. And she said she's been in Edinburgh for a while now, and just people were asking like how it inspired her, her writing and like her world building. And she said obviously so much. Like Edinburgh's like
Oh.
so historic and so beautiful.
And
And
like
so
gothic and beautiful.
there's three main characters. One of them, sorry if my mic is moving, but one of them is named Alice. One of them is named Sabine. And then one of them is
Ooh.
named Shiz. I forget what she said her name was, but it's three people. And one of the questions was like, is there a villain? Is there a, like a good person character? And she's like, there is no villain. Like they're all villains. Like this is not a romance. This is like,
Ooh.
yeah. So I don't know. I'm really excited to read it. Obviously, I just got it last
Ooh.
earlier this week, but she was really nice. And so Victoria, I love you, girl. She honestly was like so sweet, and now I want to read everything she's ever written.
Dude, I've never read one of her books, which is crazy. I've been wanting to
Yeah,
read Vicious for so long. I
I've
heard.
been vicious.
Yeah,
I don't
Vicious.
think I
It's
know.
like a red cover. I forget what
Uh huh.
it's about. I think it's about like I might be confusing it with something else, but I think it's about these guys in college who like develop superpowers or something. But I
I
also
think you're
she does
confusing
Addie
it. I
LaRue,
think you're
doesn't she?
confusing it with something else.
No, Vicious by V.E. Schwab. I could swear because
Oh
this
yeah,
one
you're right. You're right. You're
TikToker
right.
who I
Sorry.
love, Eden, recommends that book a lot.
And she obviously wrote
Addie LaRue.
a, yeah, The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue. And
Mm-hmm.
she said that in the beginning that like she tried to, weave in queer elements to her writing,
Mm-hmm.
trying to be more toned down. And then she's like, and then I realized like if I'm not doing it, then no one
Is she
is.
lesbian?
She's queer. I don't know what she
What she
identifies
identifies as?
as.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah,
Okay, love. Yeah, I feel like I wanted. I didn't. I like that where it's like she gets to talk about it in her books, you know.
yeah, yeah.
And
And
it's
she
even
said
books
that
like
she
oh sorry.
was The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue is a show or a movie. I didn't know this. Is
Oh
it?
yeah, isn't it coming out as
I think it
a?
is.
Yeah, I need to read that. I heard it's good.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I was just gonna say like with queer fiction, it's nice when it's kind of it's like not even the main topic, but it is. With like Song of Achilles, where it's like people would pick it up and then it's like so normalized in the story that it's like
Yeah.
not you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's cool to be
Yeah.
like, oh, this is like a regular book that is queer. So
Yeah.
ooh, I
But
want to read that.
the
It sounds really
characters in
good.
this sound so fun, so I want to read it. And yeah. And sorry, one thing she said that I thought was really funny was one of the characters, Alice, she's like a college student, and she's like Victoria, the author said, growing up, your parents always tell you like don't sleep around. Like, you might get murdered. Like, you don't know these people. Like, you're going home with someone like a stranger. And she's like, and so for the character of Alice, you know, she's in college and she is going out at a party and she meets this girl that she really likes and she goes home with her and then she ends up dying and she gets murdered. So, and she becomes a vampire, basically. She like becomes immortal.
Oh
Yeah.
my God. So you're like,
And
yeah,
she's like, so it happened to
yeah,
her
that's
in the book.
crazy. Okay, so
Yeah.
you're
So
like,
she was
I'm
really
rooting
nice.
for
And she
her.
just, I don't know. I just, it's like, you know, when you like someone and you feel like they just have a purpose for writing. And I feel like she does. And she was really funny in the interview that we saw. So
I
yeah,
love that.
I liked it. It was fun. It was really short and sweet, but I have the book. So
We
I'm
need to
going to
go to
read it
more
and then
stuff like
maybe
that.
I'll let you guys know how it is.
Well, as an Easter egg for the very end of this episode, if you want to find out what our July book is going to be, I won't spoil it, but Mariana and I have in fact met the author of that book, and she was really sweet. So
Yeah, she was really sweet.
yeah.
She was so sweet and beautiful.
Okay, so Song of Achilles, guys, the way we usually do these episodes is we go chronologically through the book and then we can kind of discuss in between. The beginning, I feel like, was sort of just a bit of filler where it's like Patroclus is like this like scrawny, funny little kid, and he's got like a weird mom, and he's got this like dad who's like rude with him. He goes and basically they're trying to get Helen married off. And so he has to go and be like, oh, you know, I'm one of the suitors or whatever. She doesn't pick him. It's like a whole thing. And then eventually Patroclus's dad exiles him from the kingdom when he's a kid. He's out,
Yeah.
and that's when he goes over to King Peleus. So that's like just like
Yeah.
the beginning
And
setup.
the only thing I have to add to that is obviously, like, sorry, like nobody wants to marry Patroclus. Like, I'm so sorry.
No, he was like literally 12 years old. Like he's just like
No, he
this
was literally
scrawny,
12, I forget,
lame
he was
little
like 12,
kid.
13 or something. And he was like the youngest, the smallest, okay. And then obviously Helen chooses this like little bad boy guy to marry. But when they're there, they do basically make an oath to
Oh, yes.
always protect Helen. Like literally a blood oath. Till death do you part with this oath.
Mhm.
And everyone that was there, all of the suitors that were there, have to protect her. And if there is ever war against her, they must fight on her side, kind of thing, or like to get her back.
Mhm.
So I think that was one thing that we
Kind of a convenient
maybe
oath.
don't want to leave out.
Yeah. Well, also that was when we
The
got
oath.
set up to a lot of the characters that come in the future, like Odysseus and stuff. So that was all like pre-set up, which I would like to say I have in fact read, I think
The Iliad.
technically both the Iliad and the Odyssey, but by read, I mean it was like required school reading that I like didn't really read. So I've
Wait, in
definitely
college? Because I did too.
one in college and one in high school.
Okay.
Yeah.
I read the Iliad in college. Don't ask me what happened.
I
Couldn't
no,
tell you.
exactly. The only thing I remember about either of those is that he was like on a boat. So I was like, "Ooh, I know about
Yeah.
Odysseus."
I think
Okay.
there was a boat on the cover for sure.
Yeah. He definitely was like on a boat at some point, you know, as they all are. But anyways, I would just like to point that out that I am in fact well read.
Yeah, of
Um.
course.
So then this is where things kind of pick up and get more exciting because he meets one Mr. Achilles, the popular boy at school, who's juggling things.
I mean, literally the prince. I'm sorry.
Yeah, well, yeah, he's the prince, but also literally all the other boys are like, oh, he's so cool. And he's the son of a goddess and a king. So,
Yeah. Did you catch that basically the gods made her vulnerable to where the king, Achilles' dad, like took advantage of her and then she got pregnant?
yes. And I think, I mean, I'm a hater of Thetis, the mother, but I feel like it's kind of this whole entire book has a lot of characters where it's like you hate them but you kind of don't, you know what I mean, where it's like
Yeah.
that anti-hero situation or whatever, where it's like she really was dealt like a rough hand and then also didn't even get to really see her son. She like didn't get to raise him or anything, so it was like she was just like a like breeding mechanism basically.
I know.
So it was kinda
And so
sad.
I think what happened, which is I think I understood it more at the end, was that there was a prophecy that, you know, she was going to have a powerful son. And they're like, well, if you have your firstborn son be immortal, then he won't. He'll be like a little weakling. Little did they know, Aristus, Echion, whatever.
Aristus
So,
a Kion or something.
Oh, I said Acheon.
I have no idea. I was like audiobooking some of this so I like know how some of them are pronounced, but then also some of them, like Achilles, would have other names that they would call him. And I was confused. Did you notice that?
Really?
Or that, and then I think it's because they would call him like, they kind of call them by their parents'
Oh,
name.
by their by their
Their like
by their
last
neighborhood's name.
name.
No,
Yeah.
Pladia, whatever.
I was so confused about that.
I couldn't tell you guys. Just know I can't pronounce any of these names.
No, this should
I
be
did not
interesting.
audiobook this at all.
um
But also weird. I don't know if any of you guys have the enhanced edition on your Kindle and or yeah, I guess just your Kindle. Mine had like inserts of audio and video.
yeah, you showed me that. That's crazy. I didn't have that on
It
mine.
was weird. It was very weird. When I would do my Kindle on my phone, I could listen, but when I was on my actual Kindle, I couldn't listen.
Oh, okay, maybe I need to check my phone then. That's interesting.
Yeah.
Um
Was there a little play box for you?
Not on my Kindle.
Oh, mine was.
Oh.
Anyway.
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 So now he meets Achilles. They kind of like end up forming this friendship while they're at the school. I guess it's like the palace, but like the school still. And Patroclus like was a little outcast and a loner, and Achilles kind of took him under his wing, and he's like, "Oh, you can like come sleep in my room, and you can come train with me or whatever." Because Achilles didn't have anyone to train with him because he was like better than everybody else, and
Yeah.
it's like he was just
No one had ever seen him like spar or whatever.
no, yeah, and so now he's got his best buddy Patroclus, and of course they're starting to like develop feelings for each other, which is so
Of course,
cute.
they're learning to juggle.
Well, yeah, of course they're learning to juggle certain balls, and no, just kidding. That comes later. But they go down to the beach and share a little kiss. They have a little.
And then
smooch.
all of a sudden he books it. He like runs away.
He's like, I gotta go, and then
And
he
I kind
disappears.
of was like, oh, he's probably scared. Like immediately his mom shows up. Like, okay,
Dude,
stalker.
his mom is, first of all, freaking scary and crazy. She literally reminded me of the Weaver from Akatar. If anyone has read
Oh,
the
she
second
reminds
book
me
and
of
knows
The
about the Weaver.
Grudge.
No, she's so scary.
No, sorry, not The Grudge. The girl from The Ring. When she hops out of the TV because she's like sopping
Yes,
wet.
literally. Yeah, ooh, yeah, because she was always wet. Ooh, and like everything was cold, and she had this like scary voice.
I know. I don't. Wait, yeah. How did they put her audio in the audiobook or her
Yeah,
voice in the audiobook?
she kind of talked like this. Well, not like that, but like a like a raspy.
I have to go back and listen.
Yeah. But yeah, so she basically is like, okay, you're donezo. You got to go and go train with this guy Chiron, the centaur, up in the mountains. So then, of course, freaking Patroclus is like, well, if you're leaving, then so am I. And he runs away. He's
Short
like,
package deal.
yeah, he's like, I gotta go. Like that's my man's. So here I go. He finds him, and literally Achilles is like, thank God, I was hoping that you'd come find me. So now they're in their little mountain hideaway cave with the centaur. This was my favorite part of the book.
This is my favorite part of the book. And two, I think that I don't know. I kept forgetting that they were so young. So then they would like go
Same.
and wrestle or go and do like, like little boy things. And I
Yeah.
was like, oh my God, of course. Like, but then the writing, I mean, her writing, I feel like made it feel more elevated because I
Mhm.
think it was written from like when he was a little bit older. Or that's what it felt like at least. But I kept forgetting that he was so young. And so I thought it was really sweet. Like I was just kind of like, oh my goodness, of course they're gonna go wrestle, of course.
Yeah. And it was just like a very dreamy setting. Because it's like, first of all, Greece, beautiful. I want to go. Because they're talking about all this like flora and fauna, and they've got the stream, and they're learning how to hunt, and they're learning how to play the lyre, and they're learning how to do all this stuff. And it was like, Chiron was kind of this really cool, like, mentor figure for both of them. And I feel like he kind of gave Patroclus a reason to like want to actually learn and improve and stuff because his dad was, sucked. And so it was kind of nice. I really liked that whole scene.
A sweet little father figure, but also I think he kind of let him be. I thought it was interesting that when Chiron was like, do you want to learn to fight? Or I feel like it was either him or Achilles. And he was like, not really. And they're like, all right,
Yeah, yeah,
Cool.
literally. Yeah, they're like, okay, that's
He's like, and
fine.
then I never fought again. And I'm like, perfect.
Well, and it was cute because he was really interested in the medicine stuff. He was like, oh, these
Yeah.
tools are for surgery. And he's like, well, what the heck is that? And so that kind of also set him up for later when he was in the war and he did end up helping and
Yeah.
like do surgery. So I feel
Yeah.
like and that came in later too when it was like, oh, I remember Chiron taught us how to make a poultice for this and this herb. Like
Yeah.
it really did set both of them up for knowledge in the future.
But I thought it was interesting because I felt like Patroclus, obviously he is not a half demigod or whatever, but like he was more interested in that, just like his innate nature of like being a healer, where it's like we know that Achilles is like a killing machine. Like I
Yeah.
felt like the juxtaposition, I don't know if that's the right word, but I thought that was really interesting because it's like I don't know, like I wish that he could have healed him.
I know, because one's a killer and one's a healer. That's true. But that speaks also to both of their nature in the way that they were grown up or brought up in a
Yeah.
way, because I think that like, and this comes into play obviously with the prophecy and all that stuff, which honestly, if you think about the prophecy by Taylor Swift
Prophecy.
as for Achilles, like that kind of hurts. Anyways, he it was like he was born into needing to be this great, famous, powerful. Like, how do you get born into that and then have to live up to it? That's like crazy for a kid.
But also, I felt like it was one of those things where I feel like Patroclus was very observant. So, like, throughout the
Hmm.
first part of the book, like, yes, he just ends up meeting him, falling in love, and then they go to Chiron. But the whole time, he's like watching Achilles. He's
Yeah.
just like watching him, how he moves. Like, he's just so hyper aware of him, I think, because obviously he's in love.
Yeah.
But also, I think it's just like so interesting because Achilles was born to end the war. Like, obviously, that was a prophecy. That's what he was meant to do. But he doesn't also know anything other than that. So
Yeah.
he's also pretty pure in the sense that Patroclus would be like, he doesn't know that people would lie, or like he doesn't
Yeah.
understand that they're making fun of him, or he just kind of takes the truth as what it is and never has had to deal with hardship in a way, which
Hmm.
I feel like that ends up obviously at the very end, like kind of being his demise.
Yeah. I know. I feel like they were a really interesting pair. Um, because they kind of balanced it was like a very perfect opposites attract situation and they kind of balance each other out. And this I did put a note of this at the end, which we can talk about it more, but the actual Greek mythology of it, I was like watching a couple videos on it. In the actual Greek myth, Patroclus is like not like a weak, lame little guy. He's like a more of like a warrior as well. Obviously, he's not as like proficient and strong as Achilles, but I was like, that's a very interesting choice because it seems like she pretty well like followed the actual history and like myth of it all. And then put her own twist on certain set like sections of it, like the whole backstory of Achilles. Like we technically didn't know, so she got to be free with that.
Yeah,
But she
more
actually
fun. Yeah,
changed Patroclus's character a pretty decent amount by making him more like lame. So I thought that
yeah,
was an interesting choice because it kind of even furthered their love story in a way, in my opinion. I kind of liked that she did that.
yeah. I liked it too. I also felt like maybe it was the way that I was reading it because maybe someone read it and they didn't see Patroclus as like the weakest link of the group kind of
Yeah.
thing, but more of like this like stoic, like silent observe. He was always observing and he was
Hmm.
always like super hyper aware of everything. So I
Hmm.
think that I just maybe it's the way that I'm, you know, programmed for like a relationship to be like one and the other. It's like
Yeah.
maybe they were pretty much the same, but just in different strengths.
Well, and it at the end, it turns out that he actually is pretty good at fighting. Like
Yeah, I thought that was crazy.
yeah, when it's
Now
like
let's
when
jump
it
into the
comes
freaking
down
end.
to it, so it's interesting the way that they like set this all up. But he's just the sweetest, and the way he talks about Achilles, and I love the other thing I loved about the backstory is that we got to watch him kind of like literally as it is for any child, like whether or not you're questioning like who you're attracted to or whatever. It's like I feel this feeling in my chest that's kind of like being
Yeah.
sad, but I'm also not sad. It's like he's feeling like heartache and like love and
Yeah.
like I was so
I know. It was very sweet and I was like so giddy. Just like when he would because you guys know that feeling of when you like have a crush on someone and you're just
Oh.
kind of developing it, and you're like, you see them and you're like, and it does feel like someone's sitting on your chest, but it's like
Yes.
so heavy, but it's like love. And I feel like he was able to recognize that. And then when obviously they kissed and then everything kind of went down before that, but I didn't know like if Achilles, being myself Patroclus, like I didn't know if he would have felt the same way. Obviously he would, because he chose him as his companion, which means that he stuck with him for literally the rest of his life.
Yeah.
Casual. So yeah, I don't know. It was very sweet and very pure.
And it's just cute because I think that's why her writing is so impactful and why I really loved her as an author is that even though we're literally talking about what thousands of years ago this all took place, it feels like it could be now. You know what I mean? It's just like
Yeah.
it's like a love story for current that's just written in old
Yeah.
ways. And there's so many parts where it's like, "Oh, I relate to this," and it really hits hard. So it's like love throughout the ages has been the same.
I know. I'm like, I love like can someone love me like Patroclus? Just kidding. Ben is
Oh,
sweet, sweet soul.
literally, Patroclus is obsessed, and that's, goals for a man. So,
Goals. No,
love.
like actually so sweet. But where did we leave off?
So, well, when they're there, the other thing that happened is Thetis like comes and tries to get. She's like very vocal about how she does not like Patroclus. She's like, "You're gonna ruin my son's reputation. You're gonna." She's like so nasty to him, and she like
I
tries
know.
to split them up, and it's just like so annoying.
But here's the thing that like I think it was so Patroclus kisses Achilles. Achilles runs away. His mom comes and it's like, "Don't be touching my son." And then he's like, they sent him away to Chiron. Okay, great. But then they're both at Chiron, and it does take a little bit for Achilles to be like, "By the way, my mom can't see us here."
Yeah,
Did you catch that?
yeah.
So like,
Oh,
I
yeah,
feel like he
yeah.
was also kind of like figuring it out. Like it wasn't like, okay, like now we're here. I don't know how long it took, but I don't know that it was a year. Maybe it was like a few months
Well,
of
yeah,
like
because
once they're there.
they were there for like 2 years, I think. And it took until they were closer to 16 for them to start, touching each other. So I feel like that was also, yeah, funny when they're laying there and he's like, my mom can't see us here. And he's like, oh,
Yeah.
shit. Like, okay, well, let's, explore a little bit. And even that scene, it's so like when you think back to your first kiss with anyone or like any type of encounter like that,
Yeah.
it's like fumbling little hands and it's so awkward and it's
Yeah.
like so sweet.
And I feel like for most of it, I did feel like Achilles was a god. And like obviously the prophecy, like it was kind of thrown around so much. But I feel like when he was with Patroclus is when he seemed the most mortal human to
Yeah.
me. Where they did normal things and they just, we're juggling and playing the lyre and like all that. So
Because he
I don't
was
know. I
nervous
feel like it
too.
was that.
It was like it
Yeah, he
really
was nervous
showed him young.
too.
Yeah, and it's like just because he's like the greatest warrior of their generation, it's like he doesn't know how to kiss another boy. It was so
I
sweet.
know.
Uh,
And also like classic old timey love where it's like, yeah, me and Patroclus all the way. Like I'm not dating around. I don't even talk to anybody else.
mm-mm,
I'm bringing him with me everywhere for the
mm-mm.
rest of my life.
There's no hinge. There's no recoupling. There's no are we closed off. There's no
There's no
like
Casa Amor.
no.
There's
There's no
nothing.
Casa Amor. Literally, the freaking cave was Casa Amor, and they were getting it on. So, um, so yeah, that whole scene, I loved it. They end up having to go back because they find out about the war being started because they were like, okay, well, Helen got taken, so you got to come back now. And I think that was when Patroclus really realized, like, I will be following this man wherever he goes. Because he doesn't want to be involved in that.
Correct.
He's like, I'm scared. I don't want to do this. But he's like, well, I'm going to follow him. Like, I'm going to do what I need to do.
So before that, Nikki, just to bring you back,
Oh,
before that is they are brought back to his father's kingdom. So they basically pack their stuff up and go home.
mm-hmm.
And they're sad because they loved Chiron. But when they're there, correct me if I'm wrong, Achilles is like, no, I'm not going. He's like, I'm not going to go. I'm not going to participate. Patroclus
Right.
is like, I follow you wherever you go. They go to sleep, wake up, Achilles is gone.
Yes.
And everybody's like, wait, where did he go?
Yeah, yeah.
And Patroclus is like, oh, the day goes by and he kind of doesn't come back to bed. I thought he went to go see his mom, which he does. Comes to find out, Patroclus goes begging to his dad, be like, "Where the frick is Achilles, sir? Like, hello?" And he's like, "They went to insert name here of the
This
town that they went to
island.
with all the little girls.
Yeah.
They went to the girls' town. The mom took him away,
Ugh.
and then
I
we
hate
find
her.
out that his mom, Achilles' mom, dressed him up as a girl so that he can blend in and not be found to go to war because she doesn't want him to die. Like as
Yeah.
much as she's a huge witch with a capital B, she also was protecting him. Like I don't know, like I feel like I felt for her at some point where she was just so scared. She knew the prophecy. She's like, "You're gonna die if you kill Hector, and if
Hmm.
you go to war, you're gonna kill Hector." So I felt for her then, and I thought it was funny that she's like, "We're gonna go into hiding now."
Hmm. Yeah. And I think, I don't know at what point they find out about the prophecy, but I think this is still before they find that out, right?
No, I think he's known forever. No.
But like the prophecy that he's gonna die during the, like, after Hector dies, they're like, oh,
Oh, when he tells Achilles.
yeah.
Yeah,
I
I
think
think this is when he tells him.
this is like around then. Well, yeah, and then so he's like, okay, well, if you sent Achilles off, like, I'm gonna go hop on a boat.
Yeah.
Bye.
And he's like, so then he literally sails for, sorry, 3 months.
Yeah, he's like, I gotta go. Here I come.
And
I'm on a
he's like,
boat.
he has, I think when I read it, it was like there was this guy that was sailing the boat for him. And he's like, "Yeah, we're going, buddy." And he's like, "I'm going to be gone for 3 months."
Yeah.
So,
Oh my God. I can't even imagine. It's like, can't I just like hop on the plane and be
yeah,
there in 20 minutes? But
no, I know. And then, so then he turns up to Kairos. Is that what it is?
Skyros? Yeah, Kairos? Skyros?
Kairos. And Patroclus turns up to Kairos. He gets a hearing with the king. And as they do, which is custom there, is the king actually like fosters women. Like he has like a bunch of girls and then they become like part of his kind of like how Achilles' dad was like fostering all the little boys. That he does the same for the girls and they are like dancers. I kind of thought of them as like little,
Like little belly dancers, kind of.
performer
Yeah.
girls. Yeah. Um, but then something suspicious happens, right?
What happens? He sees that he's there
Yeah, I think he
because
sees that he's there then.
he went to dinner with them.
So, okay, so this is how I remember it. I'm probably wrong. In page 127, Achilles is there, yeah, having dinner, and they're performing, and he's like, they stop performing. Someone like looks up, and he recognizes him as Achilles.
Mm-hmm.
Achilles goes and runs to him,
Mm-hmm.
hugs him, knocks him down, and then what's her name? The daughter
Oh, the
is
princess.
like, it's like, "No, what are you doing?" And
Yeah.
he's like, "Hey, you came for me." And then he's like, "This is my husband." So Achilles is pretending to be a woman, brings Patroclus, is like, "This is my husband." And they're like, "But you are also a man, so that's not right." But I think everyone leaves. The daughter's like, "Achilles needs to marry me. That's not his husband." And then she's like, "I'm pregnant."
Well, I think that's her. They were saying that Achilles and the princess, that was the husband. Like, I thought it was them two that got married.
They did.
Right. So Achilles and
But Achilles pretending to be a girl goes, "This is my husband," about Patroclus.
oh, right. Okay, yes. Yeah. And then people are like,
And I was like, "Oh,
no.
rude."
Yeah, okay, yeah, that
Yeah.
was confusing.
And they're like, "No." And then the mom comes in and she's angry because Patroclus found him. Like, how the heck did he do that? And this is where this quote comes in, where it's just Patroclus being so in love. Like, oh my
Oh,
God, he's obsessed with Achilles. He says,
not
I
another
could,
quote for me to put into my vows. Like, hello?
I could recognize him by touch alone, by smell. I would know him blind, by the way his breaths came and his feet struck the earth. I would know him in death at the end of the world.
Me tearing
And
up
he
right
said,
now,
"Why am I
literally.
crying?" I'm
Hello?
sorry.
Oh.
And that's him coming after he came to find him. He finds him and he's like, "Of course it's you, like, duh."
No. I just think that
Yeah.
that's so
But
romantic.
then it does, it does go down in the DMs. Like he finds out that how do you pronounce that?
I have no idea. Didymea?
Didymea is with child of Patroclus or of Achilles because his mom made them sleep together. And by
Yikes.
made, they like put them in the bed, and they're boys and they're girls and they're fun and they're young. So they
And he's
foofed
like,
it
I
up
didn't even
and
like
she's
it.
pregnant.
Trust me. And he's like, well, then why'd you do it?
Yeah. Yeah. And so that was actually kind of heartbreaking.
Yeah, that was. Well, especially because
Yeah.
she obviously was into it. And he was like, and then the whole time he literally was like embarrassing her. And then Patroclus felt bad.
I know. And then, yeah, Patroclus was like, be nice to her, dude.
Yeah,
Like,
he's like, you
come
don't
on,
need to be
she's
so
literally having your
cruel.
baby.
Because she's literally
I
like
know.
trying to, she's like, well, that's my man. And she's like, bro, he doesn't like you. Like, he's gay.
Yeah.
He likes me. But it's embarrassing for her because she's kind of like, damn, like this guy doesn't
I
even
know.
like me.
It was very sad. And then the dad was like, oh my God, this is literally so embarrassing. Like, what's going on?
Mm-hmm.
Achilles and Patroclus, talk it out. And he's like, I trust you. Obviously, I love you. I know you love me. And I know it's like all of this is just like kind of insane. And he says, I had seen the way he looked at Daimia, or rather, the way he did not. It was not the same way he looked at, sorry, it was the same way he looked at the boys in Paya.
I know, it's like Pythia.
Pythia. Blank, unseeing. He had never once looked at me that way. And that's when he forgave him. So I think it's kind of like this is so effing annoying, but like, I forgive you, of course. Like, look at the way you look at me and the way I literally watch every single thing you do, and the way the light hits your eyes and the way the light hits your hair and literally everything about you. I'm obsessed with you.
Yeah. And it's also interesting because obviously back in the day it's different, but it's like it like brings in the question of cheating, where it's like, at what level is cheating sort of forgivable? It's like, if it's somebody that you are 1,000% like not attracted to and you just do it to do it, or like for some outside reason, versus like if you're cheating with somebody you're actually attracted to, you know what I mean? It like softens the blow a little bit, even though it's kind of like, oh my God, you literally slept with someone else. But obviously back in those times it's different, but it's just like,
I know. It was just like, it just broke my heart a little bit. Like, that is so sad.
Because I feel like Patroclus is always the one who's having to forgive.
And like sacrifice. Like,
he's having to sacrifice a lot.
Like, yes, I will go to friggin' war. Okay, fine, whatever.
But then also it's like he's sacrificing because Achilles is kind of having to sacrifice without a choice, really. Because like, because of the prophecy and because of how he was born, it's like he has to sacrifice his whole life to win the war. To fulfill it, Yeah. So he's like, well, if you're going to do that, I guess I'll come with you and support you.
Yeah. And then that, I guess, leads to then Achilles goes off with his mom to kind of like figure out like what they're going to do. And then, riddle me this, Patroclus goes and visits Diomedes in her room, and they foof.
They also foof, which is kind of crazy. And I think that she was
interesting. Like, someone explain that to me. I would love to understand that a little bit more.
Well, she kind of like forced him into it in a way. And also I think he just felt so bad for her, because he literally like, she was kind of talking to him about it and was like, oh, well, I'm pregnant with his child and he doesn't love me and whatever. And then she kind of started to come on to him, and he's like, like, I'm not really, interested. But he just felt so bad because he was like, I remember there was a line along the lines of like, Achilles doesn't need to be so cruel to her, where it's like, you don't need to just totally blow her off. Like, obviously you're not interested in her, but like, you're embarrassing her in front of everyone,
I know.
And so I think,
but it was weird. Like, maybe there's a deeper meaning that I'm not seeing.
Yeah, I feel like there was definitely more to this, and it kind of just to me tied back into like how women were treated at that time, and like their pleasures and their preferences didn't matter really at all. Because he was like, I guess I'll sleep with her to make her feel better. But then afterwards, she kind of was like, okay, get out. Like, I know that you
get out of here.
Yeah, she was like, I wanted to do that, but also like, this is not like what she wanted was never going to matter. So it's kind of, I just like felt so it was like that was a hard read.
That was. Yeah. I was like, I felt for both of them. Like, I can't imagine. And obviously this is not real. So
let's speak about my man.
But maybe we could talk about the prophecy a little bit before we sail to Troy.
Yes. Well, so I'm trying to remember, I feel like they found out about the prophecy in parts in a way. But the main thing is that he will die, but it's after he kills Hector, or after Hector dies. That's like the main thing where it's like, as long as Hector is around, he's safe, which comes into play through the entire war because he's like, well,
Yeah.
Hector didn't do anything to me. Why would I kill him? And everybody's like, what the hell are you talking about? Like, none of these people did anything to you, you know?
Yeah.
But that was kind of like the excuse they were using. And no matter what, they were like, Hector cannot die because then that means Achilles is up next. So,
Yeah. I was obviously with the prophecy, I was curious how things were going to happen. Like, I had a few theories. I did think that Hector would kill the only thing that ever has mattered to Achilles and his sweet, sweet heart, like Patroclus. But I didn't know how because I was like, Patroclus would never go to war. Like, of course he wouldn't. Like,
well, did you know
if he
that
could
that
choose,
was...
he would go to bed.
Yeah, no, literally me.
Literally me.
Like, I can't be drafted. I want to sleep. Did you know that this was how the myth ended? Because I didn't. I like didn't know the Greek history of it.
No, I did not know that's how the myth ended.
I didn't either, which I kind of liked that I went into it without knowing that. Because the entire time up until like literally when it happened, I thought that Achilles was going to die and Patroclus was going to have to. I thought, here's what was my theory. I thought Achilles was going to die. Patroclus was going to get married to Briseis and have a family with her and like mourn him forever kind of thing. But like,
Yeah.
still get to make that part of his dream come true. I don't know.
Yeah.
But
Not
when
us
he
having
died,
theories when it's like full in history.
no, literally. And I'm like, this can't be a spoiler alert because it's been out for literally thousands of years. But
Yeah.
I'm like,
No, I
spoiler
had no
alert.
idea. I don't know that much about Greek mythology. Like, to be
I don't
honest,
either.
I took a few classes, like never went. Like, sorry.
Yeah.
I never went. So
I do find it
I
so
don't
interesting.
know
though.
anything I didn't know. But I did think that it was probably gonna have to be because he kept saying like he's never done anything to me, which is like so innocent.
Yeah.
Also, like he's like, of course I'm not gonna kill him. Like, why would I do that? Like that's so
Yeah.
mean. But I'm gonna kill everybody else, but like not Hector.
Yeah.
I thought that something would happen to him,
Yeah.
to Patroclus.
Oh, my
Oh, my
Shayla.
poor baby.
My new
Oh,
Shayla.
No, literally.
Ugh.
So yeah, that was essentially the prophecy, which go to impact, excuse me, a 10-year war.
No, also, that's the other thing. Like, what? What do you mean 10 years?
What do you mean it took them like literally so long to sail to Troy, first of all? And second of all, they go there because again, Patroclus ends up getting roped into it,
Mm-hmm.
whether he likes it or not, because he did take that oath. And when Odysseus and his friend come to recruit
Yeah.
Achilles, finally, when he's at the Cairo island, they kind of played off. They're like, "Oh, nice to meet you," and Patroclus is like, "Oh my God, they don't know who I am. Like, they don't know that I owe them the oath."
Mm-hmm.
And then they're like, "And you too, Patroclus," and he goes, "Shit."
Yeah. But it's
I mean,
it's
God.
kind of true that he like kind of got out of it because he was exiled. He's like, I'm exiled. I'm not bound to this anymore. So that was like how
Yeah.
they got him out of it. But he obviously ended up participating in other ways, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, of course he was going to go with him. And so then they sailed to Troy. And that's just crazy.
Yeah, I have a quote from when basically, what's his name? Achilles is like, "Will you come with me to war?" He says on page 159, Achilles, "Will you come with me?" he asked. Like, sorry, I'm gonna cry.
Oh, like just that?
He
When
says,
he said, will you come?
"The never-ending ache of love and sorrow. Perhaps in some other life I could have refused, could have torn my hair and screamed, and made him face his choice alone. But not in this one. He would sail to Troy, and I would follow, even into death." "Yes," I whispered. "Yes." Relief broke in his face, and he reached for me. I let him hold me, let him press us length to length, so close that nothing might fit between us. Tears came and fell. Above us the constellations spun, and the moon placed her weary course. We lay stricken and sleepless as the hours passed. Like, of course he's gonna go with him. Like, oh my God. Frick.
And it's just like obviously on a lesser scale. I'm so dramatic, but it's like that's just how love is in real life, where it's like, will you come with me and like do this with me? It's like maybe we're not going to war, but it's like you're walking into a really hard time together, when it's like that's what it is to commit yourself to somebody. It's like they say, you
Yeah.
know, in sickness and in health and whatever, it's like you have to be prepared to walk through life with somebody through like the hard moments. And he was always right there, like the most supportive, like wanting to do that. I'm like,
I
oh no,
know.
I'm gonna cry. So sweet.
I know. It's like Nikki cries when we record early, so now we know this, you guys.
Yeah, I know.
Another
I know.
quote
I'm
that I
like, I'm so
had,
delirious. I'm like ready to start. I didn't even cry while I was
another
reading this.
quote was Achilles, before he had decided to go or not, Achilles went to go talk to his mom, which is when Patroclus foofed that girl. And
Yeah.
he came back and he's like, I asked my mom if she would protect you. And Patroclus goes, what did she say? And he says, she said no.
Oh my God, I was so annoyed. I'm like, this stupid
And I was
biatch.
like, and then Patroclus says, I would have no need of her. I did not plan to live after he was gone.
Me.
Page 176, if anyone wants to go read.
No, that's so relatable. Like, I don't know if this is acceptable to say, but I tell Ricky, I'm like, look, you better let me go first or else this is not going to be good.
No, I know.
Ugh.
Yeah, last night we were laying in bed and I was like, isn't it crazy we get to live together forever for the rest of our lives?
No, that's crazy. Like, when you get married, it's like you're like literally together forever. I mean, in theory, but like, what?
Yeah.
Well, also the other
But like
thing,
forever's not long enough.
no, but also like my favorite like TikToks and Instagram reels are when it's like two little animals and one is chasing the other one around, and it's like, I will find you in every life parentheses threat. And I always send those to Ricky. I'm like, you think you will be rid of me in death? Oh no. Like, I hate to tell you, I will find you. Like, this is a threat. So when we
No,
come back
literally.
as
Please
little
send that to me so I can
frogs,
send it to bed next time.
yeah, there's one
You guys,
specifically
I'm
of ducks.
sweating. Just I hope everybody knows.
Well, you look radiant and beautiful. I'm definitely shiny. Like, I can see my reflection in my forehead because I don't have any powder or any makeup on my forehead. So,
No. Anyway.
okay, so now they're at
So
Troy.
they go to war.
Yeah,
Yep.
they're there for 10 years. One of my favorite little scenes in there was, obviously, once the time lapse of 10 years happened, they were like late 20s. But before that, like, full jump happened, there was this scene of them sitting in the tent while the war was going on. And they were like spitting olive pits at each other and like giggling with each other. And it's like those little moments where Achilles has been out killing at this point. Like, there's all this stuff going on. And it's like they're literally teenage boys. Like, they're so dorky and goofy and like silly. And it just reminds you how young they were. Because even if they were 30, like, that's so, it feels young to be at war, you know? So it's like,
I know.
they're like little teens giggling and spitting all pits at each other. It's like so funny.
I thought that was really cute. You know what I also thought when they got there and they were deciding whether they should attack or not is that boys are stupid. Like, I think someone asked, like, should we raid or should we like let them come to us? And then in my mind I'm like, well, of course, just hang out and see what happens.
Yeah.
They're like, let's raid.
Yeah,
I'm
I
like,
know, of course.
Okay.
They're so annoying. But yeah, so then they're there literally for 10 years. The war is going on. And obviously, as they're doing all the sieges and all this stuff, they keep taking women. Like, they would like kill the farmer and the family, and then they would have the woman to take or whatever back as a prize. And they'd be doling out all of like the gold and the cows and the this. And it's like, there's a woman as a prize. And Patroclus is like, dude, Achilles, claim the woman. Like, these men are not going to treat them well. Like, bro, go up there. And so then everybody's like, oh, damn, Achilles. Okay. Because every time there was a woman, he'd be like, I want her. Like, and so that's when we meet Briseis.
And another one for me, please.
Yeah, he's like, I would like this. I would like this. And everybody's like,
I love
dang.
women. I love them so much.
And wasn't there a side comment that somebody was like, oh, I didn't even really know you liked women?
Yeah.
It's like, dang.
Yeah. Wasn't it Odysseus or
yeah, I
someone?
think it was. He's like, oh, well, I thought that you and Patroclus were sharing a bed in there, so I don't know. You're taking all these.
Yeah, there's there room for one more?
Yeah, literally. So then we meet Briseis. She's like such a sweet little angel. I love her. He was like Patroclus. He was like so sweet with her and like really got her to trust him because obviously she's like, who the hell are you?
Like, I know. And then time flew by with them too. I liked the passage of time with their relationship because it's like he taught her how to speak Greek and she was like teaching all the other girls. So they basically had like a little girls camp and were like teaching them to do things so that they weren't just like bed slaves. You know?
It was literally like all the girls and their like gay best friend. I think that's so funny. They're so cute.
That was
Patroclus
really sweet.
Is, like,
and then I
little...
think at one point it's like years passed and girls, you know, married off, fell in love, except for Briseis.
Yeah.
And
And
I
she,
was kind of like, she probably is either also gay or is in love with him.
I know. And how could she not be in love with Patroclus? He's like a
How could
sweet
she
little
not be?
angel.
I am.
Ugh. And then, so then, I don't even remember exactly how this happened, but Agamemnon, the main guy, takes
I
her
do.
away. Okay, tell me.
So, um, basically, they're at war, and at one point, a priest comes, right?
Oh,
And I forget why he came, but so as Nikki was saying, they keep taking women as like bed slaves and as treasure for them, like winning and taking over like neighborhoods or whatever. So they bring a girl, and she's a priestess. She's the daughter of a priest, and the priest
right, right,
is
right.
Apollo's priest. It ends up being, and they like see a shadow walking, and the dad comes and is like, "Here you go. Here's all my stuff. Like I want my daughter back."
Mm.
And Agamemnon, who is a huge a-hole, is like,
Oh,
no. He's like, no, she's mine. I won her fair and square. Like, if I give her back, like, she's my treasure. She's my prize. And he sends him away. And as he's walking away, the priest, Apollo's priest, is like cursing the sky, like, I will get you back.
yeah.
And then all of a sudden, people start getting sick. All of a sudden, the cattle starts dying. All of a sudden, everything around them starts a plague, basically.
Yeah.
And they're like, wait, what's going on? This is so weird. Like, what could it be?
What a coincidence.
Literally, months
When
go by, 6 months go by, like, so long. People are dying until I think it's Patroclus and Achilles kind of are like, should we just say it? Like, we were cursed.
Yeah,
And
literally,
so then
because they were
Achilles
like, "Oh,
goes,
Apollo is the god of like plagues," and I'm like, "Are you people
literally,
stupid?"
Apollo is the god of plague. And Achilles goes and talks to his mom and is like, can you confirm or deny? And she's like, I can confirm
Yeah,
that Apollo's mad because
of
of what
course.
happened. And that was his favorite priest, and that was his favorite priest's daughter. And so, really, I think what Achilles does in that moment was not great, I must say. Like, he calls like a meeting of all of the warriors and is like, hey guys, so I just found out that Apollo's so mad at us right now, and that's why everybody's dying. And people are like, oh my God, of course it's a plague. Like, of course it's Apollo. And then Agamemnon comes out of the shadows. It's like, wait, what's going on here, you guys? Like, I didn't call this meeting and I'm the ruler. And he shows up and he is not happy with Achilles for calling the meeting and for basically saying, like, we need to earn Apollo's forgiveness
Uh-huh.
somehow. Isn't that what happens?
Yeah, and then is that when they do the human sacrifice?
Yeah. Oh my gosh, I freaking forgot about that.
Yeah,
Oh wait, I forgot. My
they do a
heart.
human sacrifice, and then, but then, I think doesn't Agamemnon take Briseis because he's like, "Oh, Achilles is trying to like override my power," so he's like, "I'm gonna show him
Yeah.
up by
So
taking
so
her."
he ends up taking her because he's mad at Achilles. Achilles is like, you don't understand. Like, I forgot first of all about the sacrifice. Like that probably was before. I forget. But he Achilles is upset and he's like, you guys don't understand. Like, we need to figure this out. Like, we need to do something big. Like, we're gonna gather all the cattle and kill because
Mm-hmm.
Apollo wants us to sacrifice X amount of
Mm-hmm.
stuff. Okay, great. Um, however, he is telling Agamemnon like, you need to like work with us. Like, you need to do something. And Agamemnon's like, no, 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 like we're fine.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think Achilles is like, well, I don't bow down to you, and I never have. And
Yeah,
I
yeah,
rule my own school, and you don't tell me what to do, old man. And
yeah,
then no one stands up for Achilles, and that like hurts his ego. And
yeah,
that is his downfall.
yeah. Well, and yeah, and then at this point, he's like, "Okay, well, like." I'm not fighting for you then. He's like,
Yeah.
we're done here. Like, you will literally lose. I don't need to fight for years. He's like, I will let all of you die. I don't care if you're not going to, honor me and see that I'm the best warrior and give me my, Briseis back, like all this stuff. I'm not fighting for you. And so then that goes on for a long time. They're like,
Yeah.
he's like, well, I'm not
Like
giving her back.
months and months.
Well, and then
And
Patroclus
Achilles
is like,
is just
dude,
hanging out in their tent.
yeah, and he's like, fine, I'm not fighting. And Patroclus is like, bro, Briseis, like, you're gonna let her be with this evil king that, whatever. And he's kind of keeps telling him, like, why don't you go just do it, bend the knee and get her back. And he's like, no, I'm not doing that. I'm sorry. And that's when he goes to Agamemnon and basically is like, look, if you end up defiling her and like abusing her and, you know, sleeping with her and stuff like that, Achilles will have grounds to kill you now, because technically like she is still his war prize. And if you do that, that people take that really seriously. And Agamemnon's like, oh shit, you're right. Because he had her like all tied up and he was definitely going to be mistreating her and stuff. And so that was his Patroclus's way of saving her from being mistreated. But of course,
which I thought was like so like crazy. Like I don't understand why Patroclus just can't go and be with Briseis. Like she's your girl. Like she would do anything for you.
I know. But in turn, Achilles was like kind of banking on that, because then he's like, dude, we could have killed Agamemnon, and like he was the worst for everybody. Like, why are you saving her over A, my honor, and B, like I wanted to try and kill Agamemnon. And there was this quote that said, her safety for Achilles said this, her safety for my honor. Are you happy with your trade? And then Patroclus said, there is no honor in betraying your friends. And it was like, this was kind of the point where Achilles was really starting to lose sight of like his values and stuff. And he was like everything. It was like his reputation over everything. It's like, your honor is not as important as her safety. Like, listen to what you're saying. And I think that Patroclus, by going and doing this, was a show of like true love, where it's like, I'm going to do this on your behalf because I know you're fucking up. Like, yeah. And that's part of like being a partner, where it's like you have to hold each other accountable and be like, look, I'm still going to back you on stuff, but if you're doing something that I know is wrong, like, I'm sorry, but her safety is more important than your honor or whatever, you know?
So. I know. Oh, that was when I started to have mixed feelings about Achilles.
Yeah, same. I was getting really frustrated because it's like, dude, you know what's right and wrong here, but he was so concerned about his image the whole time.
Well, it was like the prophecy itself, too, was about, obviously, he will kill Hector and then he will die. But it was also about, like, fame for the rest of his eternity. Yeah. Like, he was banking on that. He's like, I'm going to be known for this. So, like, I'm sure it'll pan out because this is what the prophecy is. It's that I'm going to be famous for saving Troy or whatever.
It's like, one of that even matters.
I know. One of the when he started kind of, like, losing himself, like you were saying, the quote I have here is from page 282, and it says the excitement. So basically what was happening was Achilles was just in the tent hanging out, and people would kind of go back and forth being like, can you help us? And he'd be like, no. And he's like, Agamemnon needs to, you know, ask for my forgiveness or whatever. And he kept saying no, not wanting to fight. People would come back and be like, and then this happened, and like tell him stories of like, do you understand what's going on out there? Like, this person got, like, is dying, this person's injured, whatever. And it was kind of like they were telling him, but he was kind of like liking it, like hearing about what was happening, because he says Patroclus' point of view, the excitement of the day has flared through him like flame on dry grass, which I thought was a good metaphor. For the first time, he dreams of killing, the stroke of his glory, his inevitable spear through Hector's heart. My skin prickles to hear him say so. I cannot escape the feeling that below the surface something is breaking. And I think that's like Patroclus being like, okay, like for a while he was kind of like, he didn't want to be killing people. And now he's like ready to do what it takes to get back there, because that's his honor. Like, that's what's getting him the fame. That's what's going to make him, like, I guess, immortal even after he's dead. Like, people knowing that he saved the war and he wants to be back out there, basically.
Well, and it was crazy, too, because at the beginning, before he had even killed anyone, he kept asking Patroclus, like, what was it like when you killed that kid, like, back in the day? Yeah. And he was kind of nervous to go out and, like, all this stuff. And then after they started doing the raids, he would come back at night and be like, oh, and then this happened, and then this happened. And Patroclus is like, so you were out there killing people? And he's like, well, yeah, but
they were like bad people. They also were armed. Like, I would never kill someone unarmed.
Yes. So it was kind of like he started slowly justifying it, and he was definitely getting like that bloodthirsty. Because when you're that powerful, he's like born to be a killing machine. That's literally what he's good at. Is fighting.
That's so hard to, like, I'm sure, obviously, like, I keep thinking like Patroclus was like a sweet little man, but like, it, like, seeing the person you love turn into someone so shitty, like, that's so heartbreaking.
Yeah.
And that's, it's like he didn't really know what to do. But like, I think of it as like like when someone's like addicted to drugs or something. You're like
Yeah,
watching them turn into this person, and it's like,
totally. And it's like, how do you save them from themselves kind of thing? Ugh,
yeah.
that's hard.
Oh,
And this also like kind of goes into Patroclus starts really realizing, like, uh-oh, like Achilles is starting to get too prideful. Phoenix was telling him that story where it's like, okay, there was the king who stopped fighting for his city because he was prideful about something. And then Cleopatra, the wife, had to literally beg him to be like, dude, you have to step in because it's getting too late. Like all of your people are dying. And then
yeah.
finally he's like, after she literally begged him, he's like, okay, fine, for you, like I'll do it. And by the time he steps back in to save the day, everybody was like, dude, you suck. And like, you're not going to
Yeah,
be a
too
hero
late.
in this story anymore. It's too late. Like everybody
Yeah.
is dead. And that's what ends up like literally happening because Patroclus has to be like, dude, Achilles, you have to go back in. And I was expecting that he would be like, okay, for you, I'll do it. But he didn't. And I'm like,
I know.
oh my God. Like
Is that
that
even
was
like
crazy
that's
to
even
me.
worse?
It's worse. It
I
was,
thought it was interesting, and maybe again, people tell me because I don't know Jack. Was there supposed to be like a deeper association with the story? Like, obviously, I understand that Achilles and Patroclus are Cleopatra and her husband, but is there a story about Cleopatra that like we should have known, where it
I
would have been
don't
like,
know.
oh,
Yeah, like a deeper
I don't know that
connection.
much.
Well, to me, the like juxtaposition of the two, where Cleopatra was able to beg and he did it, versus it's like you think Achilles and Patroclus have this like grand, great love story, but he literally begged him and he still said no. That's why I was like, oh my God, like, and he was like, just do this for me, please. And he was like, I can't do it.
But
And
that's
so
so crazy to
it's
me
crazy.
because the Theseus, whatever her name is, his mom
Hmm.
was saying like you're gonna ruin him. You're gonna ruin him. You're gonna ruin his reputation, like all that. And I'm like, he did it to himself. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know what the frick she saw in her prophecy,
He
but
tried to
like
help him.
all Patroclus ever did was try to help him
Yeah.
and make him look good.
Yeah. And he like just kept ruining it for himself. And then again, it like kept getting worse because originally he's like, please do it for me. And he said, no, no, no. So then Patroclus is like, okay, well, fine, I'll go. All we need is really you as a figurehead. Like, nobody needs to see you fighting. They just need to see that you're there. And the people of Troy are going to be freaked out. Like, if they think, oh shit, Achilles is back, like, it's over. All of your men are going to fight harder because they think it's you. All of their people are going to be scared. So he's like,
Yeah.
please, like, I'll be good. I won't fight back. I'll just, stand there and look pretty and like be the figurehead and put on your armor and pretend I'm you. And I was like, okay, now Achilles is going to be like, no,
Yeah.
I'm not sending you into war. Dude, he let him go.
Not him strapping him up.
I was floored. I was like, how? I was so upset. I was like, you can't let your partner do that for you. I was so mad.
I was gonna say, if everyone remembers Zayden.
No,
Selfishness.
no, it's so different. I can't even talk to you about this. It's so different.
Okay, it is different, but I just remembered that like I did feel like Zayden was being selfish. Okay, done.
Yeah,
Done.
yeah, yeah. Okay.
But also I feel like this is him being so selfish, full of himself, also a little bit crazy. Like
Yeah.
he is going insane.
Yeah.
Like that is, I think, a fact.
Yes. Because he's like
The
drunk.
fact that he let him thinking it was a good idea. And you know what, Achilles? You know what? When you brought his dead body to your bed, I did not feel sorry for you because that is so like
It's like you did that.
you did that. You literally did that.
Yeah.
What were you thinking?
No. And it's funny that you say that he was going crazy because I noticed this. I had highlighted this in the beginning and didn't realize it was like crazy foreshadowing. So back when they were in the cave with Chiron, he was telling them the story of the king that ended up killing his wife and children because he didn't recognize them after going mad. And he was like, oh, and perhaps it is the greater grief after all to be left on earth when another one is gone. In that scene, Patroclus was like, he said, I would know it in dark or disguise. I would know it even in madness, talking about Achilles' face. So he's like, I will always know him. Like, no matter when shit gets tough, like, I'm going to know Achilles, even if I go mad. But Achilles is the king in the story, like, basically. Because he's gone on this fame, madness, craziness. Like he's lost himself fully. And he basically killed Patroclus, like, because he didn't recognize him. He let him go into battle, and that ended up being him killing him. And it's like,
but I feel like Patroclus saying like I would recognize, him anywhere, even in like madness. I think that also could be like Patroclus understanding that like Achilles is Achilles. Like he is going mad and he is the one going through madness. Like it's not necessarily Patroclus. And he's like, I know you're still in there and I know that you're fucking crazy, but like I love you and I'm gonna do this because I love you. And I like kind of like I see you. I see you.
That's so true.
But why did he have to do that? That was so sad. And also, like, Patroclus was so sweet, and all he ever wanted was for Achilles to be sweet and to rule the school, and
I know.
died.
And then, and it was like, in the story, Chiron was basically saying, because Achilles at that time was like, oh, well, why didn't they just kill the king then if he killed his family? And he's like, it's literally worse to be left on Earth knowing that you did that and you don't have the people that you love, which is exactly what happened to Achilles. And it was like he had to now live with his decision and the consequences of his actions, basically. Because then, obviously during the battle, like Patroclus goes in, he starts already he's breaking orders because he told Achilles, he was like, I'm not going to throw any spears. I'm not going to do anything because it might give away my cover.
Like of course whatever. I wouldn't do that. I don't know how to freaking fight. Why would you even ask me? I'm not going to do it.
No, he's like, I'm not going to do it. And then of course he gets in there and he's like, ooh, he's throwing all his spears. He's like, damn, I'm like actually kind of a badass. Like, here I go. And eventually it all like, he fully goes into battle. Troy starts retreating and he's like, I can still be fighting. Like he's starting to get caught up in it.
Do you feel like, I was saying earlier where, like Patroclus has observed him for so long, like before they were in love and like after that, when he like stepped into it, he kind of said something along the lines of like, I've watched him for so long, like I know how he moves, and like he was kind of like being him. And then also when he was throwing the spears and stuff, it to me it seemed like the armor gave him superpowers.
Well, I kind of think that it might have been a situation of where like the gods were behind him a little bit. Or like Thetis or somebody somehow was helping him. Because it seemed like, it was like some sort of like supernaturally power. But then also I think it's because she had to stick with the original story, which was that he was able to do that because he was like a good fighter. So it's probably kind of a bit of both, where it's like, that's more true to the original
kind of where
story.
Where it's like he probably could have been a warrior, but he was a healer, he's a lover, not a fighter kind of thing. Where like he probably did have it in him this whole time, but he thought himself as weak, and then turns out he's 27 years old and he's actually way stronger than he thinks he is, and he could have been doing this the whole time, but it's just like not who he wants to be.
Totally. But then he, starts going for it, and he ends up being like, okay, well now I'm gonna take the city, and he's like getting way too excited. And
that was weird. Yeah, he's like, I'm gonna scale the wall that no one has ever been able to scale.
I was like, bro, what are you doing? And then he literally goes over, he's climbing the wall, and Apollo goes, nope, and he plucks him and he drops him off. And he's like, oh well, screw you, I'm gonna go like, nope, he plucks him and he drops him off. It's like, Apollo, what are you doing? That was funny.
Literally, I thought that was so funny. It took me a while to understand. I think I reread that like twice.
Yeah,
and he's like, and then he picked, and then he's like,
but then that's when the armor like kind of falls off, and they're like, uh-oh, this isn't even him. And then Hector shoots him and kills him. I was shocked when that happened. I was like, oh, there's no way. Like I thought that it was going to be, oh, he woke up in the tent and he was gravely injured. No, when they started hitting me with the he's a corpse now. Oh my god.
Yeah, that was kind of crazy. It was also a little bit dramatic, I must say, like the way Hector killed him, like a bit unnecessary.
What, you like shot him through the heart?
Yeah, and like I have a little note from my notepad. I literally wrote dramatic. Can I just also say, I told thinking this, I was like, and then there's Patroclus and Achilles and Odysseus and Agamemnon and Hector.
Yeah. It's like Hector. What kind of name is that? Not like Hectorloculos. Like it's literally Hector. I'm like, okay.
That's like when we were reading Quicksilver and it was like, and Simon.
Yeah. Yeah, that's so true.
I can't find my quote, but
yeah. Well, anyway, so then They obviously take the body back to the camp, and Achilles is devastated. And it's interesting because this is why in the original Greek myths, people think that they were lovers and more than just like companions or foofers. Like, this is why they think they were full lovers. Because apparently back in that day, it was really common for men to sleep with each other because they just wanted to be foofing around and like whatever. So apparently that was like quite normal, but they were like, oh, the way that Achilles reacted to his like friend dying, it's like, yeah, right. He literally like grieved over the corpse for days on end and like wouldn't let anyone see him and wouldn't under this. And he was screaming and sobbing, and they were like, oh, they were in love.
Yeah, they were in love.
Yeah. But
all I hope is for Ben to do that for me.
No, literally, I was like, you better be devastated. I always ask Ricky, I'm like, would you be sad if I died? He's like, what kind of question is that? I'm like, would you cry? He's like, yeah. Like, what do you mean? I'm like, okay, good. I'm just making sure.
I'm just making sure.
You're being so dramatic. But Briseis, she clocked him so hard. She literally goes,
good for her. You know, she gave me Ariana Madix vibes, I guess. She's like, you know what? You did this, stupid asshole.
Major. She said to him, you care more for him in death than in life. How could you let him go? You knew he could not fight. And it's like, dude, yeah. I was so mad.
You literally did that. I thought, so interesting, a few things. Patroclus is dead. And so then it's like, oh, here's what Hector has done to Achilles to make him kill him. Like, oh, what has he ever done to me? Well, he killed your sweet, sweet love that you sent out into battle.
Yeah.
Okay. And then they bring the body back. And I was a little bit confused when they brought his body because it was like, I forget who was carrying it. And he goes, Patroclus. He's like screaming, yanks the body. And then he's like mute. He like isn't talking to anybody. And then it's like all he's saying is Patroclus. He's like, he keeps repeating my name over and over. And at that point, we're reading it from Patroclus in the afterlife.
Yeah, he's like spirit. He's like in limbo.
Yeah. He's like in limbo, which I thought was really interesting.
I liked that.
I liked that too.
Yeah.
Well,
because that's
at first I was a bit confused. I was like, who is he talking to?
Me too. But it's because, and they kind of explain it later, like if you're not properly buried, then you don't get, like, it's like you wander the afterlife. You don't get to go fully into resting. Like you're fully just like you're a spirit that's wandering. And I'm like, ooh, that's like, that would really
like you're not claimed. I think it was what it was.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah. Ugh, that was heartbreaking. I was reading the book and I was like, I feel like people keep crying at this book. Like it's sad, but like, and then at the end I was like, now me crying for Theseus.
I know, it was like heartbreak after heartbreak at the end. That was rough.
I know. It was really sad. But anyway, anger at Achilles. And then, like we've been saying this whole time, he's keeping Patroclus' body and like sleeping with it. And that was really gross. Yeah, honestly, when he said he wrapped the blankets around it to, stifle the smells, I was like, oh.
It's like so gross, but it's so like I get it, because it's like, how do you?
Yeah,
It's honestly, I can't say what I'm thinking, but if you know me, I want you to look me in the eye and know what I'm thinking of. Okay, some of you will get it. There's like a certain part of a certain story of a certain book that reminds me of that. So just think of me. Anyways, he was like really devastated. What you're talking about. No, she would really devastated. Know.
But again, Briseis gave it out to him, respect, and then Agamemnon comes back, and he goes, "Actually, you can have Briseis back." And she's like, "I've been back."
Yeah.
She's like, "I'm back. Like I left you. You suck." And he goes, "Achilles, you are forgiven. Like, let's forgive and forget." And he goes, "I hate you. I hate all of you. I wish you would have all died, and Patroclus would have lived."
Yeah.
It's like, well, you could have done something about that
if you didn't care about your stupid honor.
No, literally. I hate him.
But then at this point, he's like, "Well, anyway. I'm ready to die, so I gotta go find Hector."
Yeah,
because that's the only way he's gonna do it. He's like,
"Hector, where are you?"
And he had to go through a bunch of other people. He was like, "There's this like river god, and there's these other people," and he's like killing all these people. He's like, "Where's Hector? Where's Hector?" He's like going through the line of people or whatever. And then this was crazy. Okay, I don't know if you picked up on this, and we need to figure out what kind of symbolism this was. But Hector, after he killed Patroclus, he like stole the armor. And Thetis, when he was going to go back out, because he's like, well, I guess I'm going to go finish this now. She made him like a new set of armor. So he basically
Yeah.
had this really distinct, like, this is Achilles, his armor. And when he goes out and he's chasing after Hector to try and kill him, it looked like two copies of Achilles. And the quote said, Achilles, so he was running and chasing Hector in the same armor, and it said, it looks almost as if Achilles is chasing himself. And I'm like, there's
Yeah.
got to be some symbolism there. Like, that's
It's him being mad, like him being driven crazy.
yes. And it's like it's like his future self is going back to his past self and being like, dude, what are you doing? He's like chasing himself down. And also, it's almost as like if he's chasing himself to die. It's like the only way he could even kill himself is by, which granted, like he could have killed himself, but he's like, in order to keep his honor intact and to also die, he was like, I gotta go kill Hector, which is like him killing himself. It was like this crazy, I could like vividly picture it, and I was like, ooh.
Oh, I could picture it too. And also they're like in like at one point they're like in magical like chariots.
Yeah.
And I was like picturing that too. Sorry if the lighting for this is really weird. The sun's coming in through my window, but I felt like it was the prophecy in itself where it's like that little circle, like you can't die until Hector dies, and you like it's like you're already dead because Patroclus is dead. So in theory, you're literally already running around dead, just waiting for someone and for a reason to die. And he's like, I'm ready to go now.
Yeah.
And so he went to go and find himself, basically.
Well, and it's also like,
It's like
at
insane.
the end of the day, you're only stuck with it. Like, you can't escape yourself. You know, it's like you're gonna end up chasing yourself down at the end. Ooh, crazy.
Yeah. Oh my god, I can't.
So then, you know, eventually he gets killed. Thank God. He's like, finally. And he like smiled too.
And I think he lets him.
He kind of does, and well, it's because he was killed by Paris, but the god Apollo helped him, I think, like get him, right?
Oh, really?
I mean, I think it was a kind of a combination of both. I think it was at the point where he had fought the river god and fought the Hector and this. He was so exhausted that he just like couldn't even fight back at that point.
Yeah.
And
yeah, true.
I should have pulled the quote, but he, as he was dying, he was like smiling and he's like, oh, Patroclus, like, here I come. He's like, finally, I get to see him again, you know? And
Achilles does.
Achilles does, yeah. He like smiled.
Sorry, I thought you were talking about Hector. Because I wanted to talk about Hector, about how Achilles, parades his body around every day for literally a month.
That. Yeah, he literally like drags him through the camp. He's like this stupid mofo.
Oh, and they're like, okay, people are starting to talk. Like, that's really weird.
Back.
At first, it was like, okay, cool. And then basically, it was kind of the same thing with Patroclus, where obviously he was burned, so they have his ashes. But Hector's dad's like, can I just have my son back? Like,
and at first he's like, no,
you killed him.
But I think that was kind of like a bit of a redemption arc for him, where it was like he kind of had to finally be like, okay, like I get it, you know?
Yeah.
So that was like,
and so he gives him his body back and like helps him clean it up or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And then
I think Perseus told him too, right? Wasn't she the one who was like helping him? Or no, I guess she was cleaning up Patroclus'
she was
body.
Helping him.
Yeah,
she was cleaning Patroclus' body. But then before Achilles goes out to even kill Hector, he tells them like, I'm gonna go die really quick and just make sure that like my ashes and Patroclus' ashes are together and we rest in the same urn.
Yes, he wanted to be like, mixed with him, honestly. And I'm like, that's actually a great idea. I'm like, I want him to be mixed with Ricky. I actually want to fuse our cells together. I always tell him when we're cuddling, like, I want to crawl inside your skin. That's what we say to each other. Because like, it's like, I'm
really sweet.
Like, I want to like unzip his skin as a suit and crawl in there. Because like cuddling is not close enough. You know what I mean? I'm not a freak, guys. I'm not a weirdo. I want to crawl inside your skin.
'Cause I'm a creep.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a weirdo.
Okay, so I have to talk about his stupid, evil little twerp of a son.
Oh my god. I hate him.
I hate him. And you know who this reminds me of? Joffrey from Game of Thrones. Where it's this like twerpy little, evil little prince who thinks he's got all this power and he's just like so cruel to everyone.
He's 9 years old. He's literally like 10.
Yes. And I'm like, dude, what is wrong with you? Like, that is not how you get power from people, is by acting like that. And he came in and he
But
just was like, oh, I'm actually like gonna help you guys win the war now, and I'm in charge.
no, so okay, so what I gathered was when that girl got pregnant with Achilles' baby, they sent her away because they're like, this is shameful and we're not together, so we're gonna go away and give the kid to his mom. So
Mm-hmm.
he's been under the water for so long,
Yeah.
and she's evil, and so like he is also then evil,
Yeah.
and
He was like
so
raised with the sea nymphs.
yeah, he was raised with the Sinems who are like not people. So like I understood that. However, a 12-year-old saying, "Hey, Briseis, you might be around 50 years old, but like come sit with me." You don't know what you're doing, little kid. Like you're so annoying. I
No, he
hated
was
him so much.
so.
He had not an ounce of kindness or empathy, literally nothing. And his prophecy, which was, it was annoying when Achilles was like, "You have my son." Like, what the fuck? That's like, what do you mean he's coming?
Yeah.
And he's like, she's like, "Oh yeah, we got a new prophecy.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
We're starting over. He's actually gonna win the war."
Yeah.
And okay, it's like, "Oh, cool,
Yeah.
perfect."
So yeah,
Excited
it's
to
like he
start nothing.
needed to come and finish it. But yeah, he and everybody told him, they were like, okay, well, now that like Achilles is dead, we're supposed to mix the ashes, and they kind of did it. Like, I was glad that they like mixed him up quick, because he like didn't really get a time to object. They're like, oh, it's too late, you can't separate him now. But they were like, oh, we're gonna build this like massive tomb for my father, and he was us Christos Kion, like he was the best of the Greeks, whatever, like he deserves this thing. And they were like, oh, well, they said that they wanted to be, or he said he wanted to be buried with Patroclus, like, and he's like, oh no, we're not putting his name on that. We're not putting his name on that. And it's like, so then now freaking poor Patroclus is like, he can't be at
He's like,
rest.
"Cool." He's like, "Cool, I'm stuck here."
No, so he's literally like watching all this go down. So then also, like you were saying, when he was talking to Briseis and he's like, oh girl, like you're gonna be in my bed, like blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, first of all, you're actually a child. She was like, okay, fine, I'm gonna stab you and I'm gonna run off. She was like, I gotta go.
Yeah.
She like didn't stab him hard enough. Dumb. And she
She's
like
not a god.
runs into the ocean, and Patroclus is like, go, Briseis, like you're the best swimmer out of all of us, like let's go. And I was like, there's no way this is about to happen right now. He shoot.
But they never find her body. I don't think she's dead.
No, she's so dead.
No, I don't think she is. I think she's alive.
I'm sorry to
Right
say.
here.
No, she's donezo. He literally shot her and she sank into the waves. I was like, oh.
No, he didn't shoot her. He hit her with the spear, but then they never found her body. Stop, Nikki.
She did. No, I was so mad. Because that's my girl. Ooh.
That's my girl.
Oh.
Who did you imagine her as?
Almost like I sort of like maybe a Haley Steinfeld sort of. Well, I don't know. It's kind of hard to say.
I imagined her as, and I conjure up random people in my head, but I imagined her as Vanessa from Gossip Girl.
Yeah, I could see that. I could totally see that. Interesting. Yeah, okay. I like that casting. Probably one of the saddest lines of the entire book at the end for me was when, like, I actually am gonna start crying if I think about it. At the end, Patroclus is like wandering. They've buried Achilles, they've let him rest, and the whole time, even when before he was buried, he was like, maybe I could feel his spirit, like I can't feel anything, I don't know where he's at, like whatever. Because he was like, oh, maybe we'll be reunited now. They finally bury Achilles, they put him to rest, whatever. And he says, I curl myself around the stone obelisk of his tomb. And he literally was like, can you imagine you're a little ghost and you can't be put to rest because of all these asshole, awful people. And he was like, I don't know if it's hot, I don't know if it's cold, but like, I'm just going to stay here. It was kind of how Achilles was like curled around his dead body. It's like, they're like clinging to any moment that they could get, or like any bit of them. And imagine him like fetal position, like curled around a headstone. Oh my.
But why did Achilles have to send him out? Like, I'm sorry.
No, I'm so mad at Achilles.
I'm so mad at him. But that was heartbreaking. And so basically everybody gets a tomb literally except for Patroclus. So he's like, you know what? I'm going to get up from this curled stone and I'm going to go haunt Odysseus. And so he goes and he meets him in his dream and he's like, Odysseus, wake up.
Yeah.
And he's like, no, no, go away. And he's like, no.
Odysseus.
He's like, you know that Achilles wanted us together. Go and ask this stupid little prince if you can put my name on the tombstone, please. And so Odysseus is like trying to be funny, trying to be like, he's trying to play it cool, but he's like, frick, if not, I'm going to be haunted for the rest of my life. He asks him and he basically says, no, get lost. And he's like, well, make it known that I tried.
Yeah.
And he's like, and he did. So then he's like, I won't haunt him.
Yeah.
So then that's kind of like the end of the war and everything.
Yeah.
So
and
then
they like all
Patroclus
leave.
is like left wandering. Yeah, they all leave.
And like
everyone has a stone except for him.
And stuff.
No, people are like coming and like seeing Achilles' tomb and being like stone and being like, okay, like this guy did so much. But also I think one thing that was interesting was on the tombstone it said like killed this person, killed this person, killed this person. And we obviously all know that at the very end, like Theodos comes back to the stone and Patroclus is like, well, I have literally nothing to lose, so let me just ask her.
Because he's over there going,
me. And she's
Theodos, Theodos.
Yeah.
Theodos. And she's like, what?
Yeah.
He's like trying to get her to come.
I didn't realize that she could hear him at first.
Yeah. One other thing, let's see, I literally had it and then I think I've lost it. Oh, when Odysseus was talking to the new little prince, there was like a little line in there that was funny where he's like, because he's like, no, this is my father's lineage and like it's my lineage. Like I'm not gonna let him be defiled by this stupid other little guy. It's like on his headstone. And Odysseus is like, well, some people end up making a name for themselves after death, and some people are fully forgotten and no one knows their name. And I'm like, that's so true because like nobody knows that prince. Like people.
Yeah, what's his name? I don't even know.
No, we don't even know because he's not important. Everybody knows Odysseus. Everybody knows Achilles and Patroclus. And it's like, and he was like, well, okay, like you do what you want, but some people, you're not going to be famous. So stupid.
Yeah. I don't want to be famous.
So Thetis.
What I was saying about that was that Patroclus was like saying how there was all these kills on his stone, and he's like, but he was so much more than that. And I think that's when he starts telling her like of all the things that he did and how he juggled and how he played the lyre, and he loved to perform and he loved to gather people and he loved all these things. And it's just like Patroclus. And that's literally when I was gonna cry. And he basically was telling her everything. He's like, I have nothing to lose. Like I'm just gonna tell her how he was and how I saw him and how he lived and how we lived together and everything we did, because she was gone for most of it, but also she was so evil. Mm-hmm. And I don't know for how long he goes on and like recounts Achilles' life to his mom, but it's like,
yeah,
I'm sorry, like I love my mom. Like I will literally like, sorry, that was so sad. I was on that couch crying last night. This was one of the last chapters that I read, and it just broke my heart.
And it was
that's what I was saying before. It's like a little piece of her is still a mom.
Yeah.
And like she's a huge bitch, but like she was still so heartbroken.
Yeah. And I think she wanted to hear that. And it wasn't even just here. Like he kind of described it as I was telling her, but I was also showing her. It kind of reminded me of like life flashing before your eyes thing. Because at this point he's beyond, and they're able to communicate in a different way. And I think she was probably able to really feel like how much he loved him and how it was like, this is how I saw your son. I didn't see him as this killing machine. I saw him as like a full, well-rounded person. And so she was kind of like, okay, I get it. And I was looking on TikTok and people were talking about like how much they loved the book and stuff. And people were saying like different tattoos that they had of the book. And someone said they have a tattoo of this and this and this. And that was like what he said when he was talking about it. He was like, I was talking about the lyre and I was talking about this and this. And then he would like kept going and he was like this and this and this. It's like, it's endless the amount of things that he could say about him. And I was like, oh my God. Like I am literally like, my eyes are welling with tears.
Oh, it was, I mean, that was sad. That's literally what got me at the very end. I was like, I've been crying so much, but this book hasn't got me to cry quite yet. and that was it. Like just this, literally the last two chapters.
I
It
know.
just was like so sad. And at the very end, like it is insane because we see it as like Achilles sent him off to die. Patroclus is like, no, like I was able to save people and like do all this stuff. And I'm like, he's just so pure.
So pure. And it's hard because it's like I have this really deep resentment for Achilles for what he did by sending him off that way. But it's also like some people make mistakes, and sometimes those mistakes cost the life of someone that you love. And I'm sure that there's plenty of instances when that happens in real life, when it's like you think, oh, maybe there will be consequences, but you don't really realize like it's really could be really bad. And so it's
Yeah,
like you can't fully fault
I
him for
know.
it. It's like he's just a human, and he was young, and he was brought up thinking the most important thing in the world was his reputation and all this stuff. And it's like it's just he
Yeah.
just made a
Some would say
mistake.
he had a big reputation. Big
Big
reputation.
reputation. Um, and so then finally, of course, Thetis is like listening to all the stories about him, and she was like, okay, it's done. And he's like, what do you mean? And he like looks over and sees that his name is on there. And she said, go, he's waiting for you.
No.
No, I literally was like,
Sorry.
I'm literally reading this like 11 p.m. in my bed. Ricky's sweet asleep beside me. I'm looking over. I'm like, I'm literally like, no. I can't
Oh
believe I
my
didn't cry,
God.
honestly. I think I wasn't in the right like headspace.
Yeah. No, I cried last night. Ben goes, okay.
Yeah.
I'm like, all right.
And then I just obviously have to read the quote of the two of them meeting again. It says, in the darkness, two shadows reaching through the hopeless, heavy dusk. Their hands meet, and light spills in a flood like 100 golden urns pouring out the sun. Oh no. The hopeless,
If you
heavy
give it up.
dusk. Their hands. Like, I can't.
Sorry. And he loves him so much.
No, like, I'm going to start crying right now. This is
No, I'm like
crazy.
gonna start crying right now.
I'm going to get off this phone call and this podcast and I'm gonna be sobbing. Anyway, so yeah, fabulous. No notes.
Yeah, okay. Overall thoughts. I loved it. I want to read more. And guess what, you guys? I'm gonna read up on my Greek
No,
mythology.
I know. I'm like, is this my new hyperfixation? I fear I'm hooked.
No, I am actually hooked. And also, I think that like I don't even know. Like I feel like the writing style was something that I have never really read before,
I
and I
loved
actually
it.
really liked it. But I think I liked it because it was still Patroclus even after he died. Like I
That was
thought that was really
cool. I
interesting.
liked that a
Yeah,
lot. I liked that a
I
lot.
didn't really expect that, and that's I feel like that's why you kind of think maybe he doesn't die. Like you
Mm-hmm.
thought he was gonna go get married and have children. Like
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
I know. I feel
I gave
like
it a 5. We're not rating it yet, but
no. I was gonna ask you because I feel like it's interesting when I love. This is why I love having these book discussions like for book club, because I either go into it with a rating that ends up being higher or ends up being lower. And I was originally going to rate this book a 4 because there were definitely times where I was not fully invested. Granted, I think I was not quite in the right headspace to read it, but because we're on a deadline for book club, like I had to. So I think if I was more in the
hmm
mood, I would have liked it a little bit better. But talking about it now, it's just so like it's so complex and beautiful. And it's not just, it's like when they talk about morally gray, like Achilles is actually morally gray. You know what I mean? It's not like, oh, he just like kills the bad guys. It's like, no, he like was the reason that Patroclus died. Like it was like a whole thing. So
yeah,
I feel like because of that, it's like you have to give it a 5. Like it's just such a beautiful, unique,
I
amazing story.
know.
And it's like I'm gonna remember quotes from this forever, you know?
And it's like obviously it's not the love you want, but it's also like it kind of is like
Mm-hmm.
Patroclus' love for Achilles is what
Is what
every girl dreams
I
of.
know. And it's just so like
And boy, yeah,
it's beautiful. I loved it.
I loved it. I loved it. I want to see what other people nobody was writing in the Fable group chat, first of all.
Yeah, this was an interesting one because I feel like everybody was really excited to read it, but not a lot of people were chit-chatting within Fable, which if you guys don't know, we always say this, we have a whole Fable group chat where when we do book club reads, you can put your input in based on chapter so you don't get spoilers. But I'm very curious, like if you watch this whole video through, please comment and give us your takes on this because I feel like this is a very universally loved book, but I think it's also a bit of a tough read. Like it's not your average regular romance. You know what I mean?
Like I wouldn't recommend it. I would recommend it to everyone as like, even if it's not your style, you should try it. But I don't think everyone would end up like liking it.
Yeah, I agree. And I definitely like was pretty bored there for a little while in the middle.
Really?
Yeah. And I think also a lot of that is attributed to just because I was like kind of rushing to read it. And like it was, you know, I think that's sort of hard. But it's just like the writing was so beautiful.
I know. I don't know her, Madeline Miller.
I don't either.
Look her up.
The other thing that I thought was interesting, my like last little note / discussion here is
she's so sweet.
Is she like a cute little, is she the one who wrote Cersei or no?
I don't know. She wrote Circle.
Yeah, Cersei.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah. That's another like Greek one, I think. That's funny.
Oh, I will read that.
Okay, Circle.
And Galatea.
I don't know that one. There's a few more within this genre that I fear we need to read.
She's from Massachusetts. She's a winner of the Orange Prize of Fiction.
Okay, thank you.
I'm just reading her video.
Okay, well, I have a discussion topic. You ready to discuss?
Yeah.
The title of the book being The Song of Achilles, when it's literally all from Patroclus' point of view. To me, I'm like, that was a really interesting choice that she made too, because it speaks to how it was all about him the whole time, you know? In Patroclus' mind, it was all about him. In the public's mind, it was all about him. After death, it was all about him because he was the only name on the headstone for a long time. It's like, this is the Song of Achilles, the story of Achilles, but Achilles is nothing without Patroclus. So it's like, because it's Achilles' story, it's also Patroclus' story. That's like what I got out of it.
Yeah, I was thinking more along the lines of like, I feel like she could have done more with the lyre. And
the song.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking because he would play the lyre on Patroclus' mom's play the songs on Patroclus' mom's lyre. That's the one he brought with him. That's the one that he took with him when he went to Chiron and everything. And then that's what I thought. Obviously, like, I don't know that is yours a lyre in the front? Mine's is a helmet.
It's a helmet, yeah. But I think that some of them have the lyre.
Yeah, but I thought it was about that, and I thought there was going to be more to it because I think a lyre has a lot of symbolism. Like there's a lot behind it.
Interesting. Yeah, I feel like that was a little bit like never fully wrapped up at the end. Like we didn't get much more of it. Interesting. Well.
Oh, okay. Wait, sorry. So the lyre is a powerful symbol across different cultures. It primarily represents harmony, wisdom, balance, and the arts. In Greek mythology, it's closely associated with the god Apollo, symbolizing music, poetry, and prophecy.
Apollo.
The lyre also symbolizes moderation.
Well, that ended up being
a
very important god towards the end because he was kind of like what lost them, like what ended up killing them. Oh, interesting.
And the lyre is what holds Apollo's power, I thought. Let me see if that's right. Anyway, we can share more.
Interesting. Okay, well, if anyone knows anything about that, please let us know. But yeah, you know, I loved it. That's all I
loved it too. I'm happy we read it. I hope everyone else read it. And if you didn't get to read it for book club, just read it. Like, it's good.
Although not that anyone
if you're listening to this message, then you already got all spoilers.
You already failed, yeah. Excellent. I'm gonna make Ricky read this because I'm gonna say this is the standard. So
yeah,
I think he's
like, perfect. I will be Agamemnon.
Yeah, literally. No, he would love this book. I think this is a good universal one. So good.
I think so too.
So good. Well, for July, we're reading quite a different book. We're going back to our roots, romance, girly fun times. Doing something a little more lighthearted because I think that after we all had a really devastating heartbreak after reading this, we might need something that's, you know, a little more cutesy and fun. So drum roll for a little ASMR. The next book for July will be Summer in the City, woo, by Alex Astor. Full transparency, this is a advanced reader copy of the book, so this is not what it actually looks like. But Mariana and I got to meet Alex Astor at a TikTok event, and she signed our little books.
Yeah, she was so nice.
She was so nice and cute. She also wrote the Lightlark series, which I've read the first book of. I didn't love it, but I didn't hate it. It was very interesting, and the writing was really interesting, so I'm very excited to see like how she does contemporary romance. I have this I have the description here, and it's pretty long, so I'm not going to read the whole thing, but it's basically like a rom-com set in New York City, which what could be better for the summer, you know?
Yeah, like actually a dream.
A dream.
I feel like this is going to be such a fun July read.
This will be a fun July read because it's like hot, you know, and it's literally summer in the city. And it's also, I remember she was talking about it and said that it's very like, if you live or have been to New York, you're going to like it because there's a lot of hot spots that they hit up. So it's like you actually get to feel like you're there. And it says that it's a 27-year-old screenwriter, Elle, and she's writing a big budget movie set in New York City, but she's had a writer's block. And so then she ends up going back to the city, blah, blah, blah. Tech billionaire bachelor, Parker Warren. Okay, so it's a billionaire romance, love. And they had a little stairwell hookup 2 years ago, and now it's a lovers to enemies situation. So I think that she just, you know,
can't wait. I love a good description of like a billionaire's apartment in NYC. I'm like, of course.
Oh my God. And it seems to also be a bit of a fake dating situation. So I can't wait. And it's also a nice short
and
easy
fake
read.
dating.
And also
it looks short.
The like new hardcovers are so cute with the sprayed edges. They're like little apples.
I know. I need to go grab it because I left my ARC in California.
Oh, I wonder if it's Kindle Unlimited. Probably not, but maybe.
Probably not, but I as you guys can see, my book collection is growing.
Yes, beautiful. So you do need a physical copy to add, and it has really cute sprayed edges. So very excited to read with you guys. We do have an Instagram broadcast channel that you should definitely join. If you go to my personal page, you can see it on there. It's called Book Besties, but Mariana's in there. Our podcast Instagram is there, which you could also follow. And follow in Fable so you can read along with us.
Yeah, that'd be fun. I want people to comment on Fable because I tried to comment for this one and nobody was in there, and it was just me and Nikki.
I know.
I was like, oh, cool.
Me literally in the comments by myself. I was like, hello? Hello, everyone.
Anybody in here?
But this one, I low-key honestly might start next because I need something lighthearted, guys. I have been, you know, depresso espresso. That's that me depresso. And I'm ready to read something fun. So
I know. Okay, I'm trying to think. I have a flight tomorrow. It's only an hour and a half, but I think I might start reading it then.
Love. Are you in the middle of anything right now?
Well, for our wrap-up, I can't wait to do our wrap-up.
Oh, yeah. This is going to be a good wrap-up.
I read One Golden Summer, so I just finished that. But I'm in the middle, like literally chapter 3 of Story of My Life by Lucy Score.
Oh, the new one with the blue cover with the bike?
Yeah, you have that.
I do have it. Okay, well, let me know once you get a little more in if you like it, and I'll start it.
Okay, so far so good. It was like I finished this and then I started that because the same thing. I like wanted something
light,
girly again. So, but I think I might just catch me being an intellectual, you guys. Like catch me writing an essay about this book.
Oh my God, I know. Not us doing a deep dive. Anyways, I have 4 minutes left on my SD card because we've been yapping for far too long. So.
No, we literally have.
We'll just give you guys a kiss and a hug.
Because I was supposed to be somewhere an hour ago. So
right. Okay, thanks for listening and watching. We love you, and we will see you in the next episode.
Bye.
Bye.